Well, good evening, friends. Good evening. We've got a few more folks who are on their way in, and we've got a few folks who I'm sure are coming in on the live stream. And just want to open us with a word of welcome to Newman Congregational Church in East Providence, Rhode Island, where we gather in a spirit of love to listen for God's ongoing word revealed in our midst in pursuit of hope in our time. My name is Sam Lovett, and I serve as the minister to this congregation and local community here in East Providence. Tonight we are very grateful to welcome Father Bashar of the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem and parish priest at Christ the Redeemer in the Christian village of Taybeh in Palestine. And so we extend this welcome on behalf of a large and growing group of UCC clergy and lay leaders from southern New England who are looking for new and expanding ways to learn from and advocate for and alongside the people of Palestine. So welcome to the people who are gathered in this sanctuary. Welcome to the people who are watching online now or later. Welcome to the Holy Spirit who comes to bestow gifts and skills to ordinary people in need of transformation. Welcome to you, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. Father Bashar has had a very busy couple of days over the past several days speaking in Massachusetts and Providence, and the speaking continues, and so we are grateful for this time in the here and the now together. Our program for this evening is simple. After this welcome, Newman Church's Christy Winveen will lead a spiritual exercise to ground us in this time together. Reverend Court will introduce our guest speaker, and then depending on timing, there will be rounds of question and answer. At the conclusion of the event, everyone is welcome to gather outside in the garden for conversation, fellowship, and well wishes for the journey ahead for all of us before we depart tonight. So with that, I'll give it to Christy.
Thank you, Reverend Sam. Father Bashar, I have the incredible blessing as a member of the Newman's Racial Equity team here at Newman of welcome you into this sanctuary to share your stories with us this evening. Additionally, the Rhode Island State Council of Churches President, Fenson Jordan, is in attendance and extends his welcome as well on behalf of the council. For the Racial Equity team at Newman, these conversations are important. They offer glimmers into the life of others and gives us the opportunity to challenge ourselves and grow not only intellectually, but also spiritually. And we hope this is just the beginning of many other conversations to come from leaders both near and far who can share their experiences and journeys of faith. And so, before we hear the Father speak, I have the wonderful privilege of guiding all of us in a heart-to-heart, a moment to get centered into this sanctuary and into this time and into this space, and to be fully present. Heart-to-hearts are an invitation, and you can participate as you feel led. So to begin, you might find a place or a place to gaze, and if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Notice any place in your body that you feel tension. Uncross any part of you that is crossed. Together, let's inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Feel yourself in your place or in this sanctuary. And if you are joining us online, wherever you are, be in this moment. Come into your body and be fully present. Inhale and exhale as you release any obligations or tasks lists that want to bring your attention out of this room. Inhale and exhale. Take a moment to think about your ears, Bring gratitude that you have ears to hear the words that will be spoken this evening. Inhale a breath of gratitude for your brain. Your brain that will allow us to absorb the stories Father Bashar will share. Inhale and exhale. Most importantly, let's take time to open our hearts, a pathway to greater compassion and understanding. May we soften our hearts so that they do not harden or hinder our ears from hearing. And may our heart and our heads work in tandem, not only to absorb the stories, but to feel them too. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. God of stories, you have brought us all here in this time and in this sanctuary to bear witness to the journey of Father Bashar. Would you keep our hearts and minds open in this time together? May we be inspired and encouraged, or challenged and convicted as we listen, reflect, and respond. Amen.
Thank you, Christy, for that wonderful grounding exercise. That was beautiful. Before we bring up Father Bashar, I just wanted to thank this church and the racial equity team for acting so quickly and inviting us to come and to speak here and to use this wonderful setup so it can be live streamed. We didn't have a lot of notice, frankly, because we weren't sure Father Bashar was going to be able to get out. He kept having flights canceled. He's not allowed to fly through Tel Aviv, so that's a much longer journey that takes like 40 hours because he has to go backward through Amman. And those flights were canceled, and then the village was locked down and new iron gates were put in, and they were basically, all the villages were under siege. So for a while we thought he wasn't coming. And then we realized he was coming, and we're like, okay, let's see if we can put some events together. And I wanted to steal him for us. He's doing a bunch of Catholic stuff, which is great, but I'm like, I wanted to hoard him once for ourselves. And I asked Sam on like a Monday, and the racial equity team had a meeting like the next night, and they made a decision like in that meeting to do this. Now, I know most of you are probably Congregationalists. Now, water into wine is somewhat miraculous. But for a Congregational church to do anything in one meeting has never happened in the history of Congregationalism. If there's 5 in a meeting, there's like 11 bare minimum opinions. And it's at least 3 meetings to decide when the meeting to make the decision is going to be. So, so thank you so much. And they grasped the importance of this, and they rose to the moment and put this together in no time at all. And I say that I can make those jokes. I'm UCC. So we thank you so much. And the Mass Council of Churches stepped up, and Father Bashar was the keynote speaker Wednesday night. And then we have last night, Father Bashar spoke in Providence tonight, and then over the weekend, we've kept him really busy. So thank you so much for making yourself so available. And the Rhode Island State Council of Churches, I couldn't get it together in time to get it into their blast, but they sent out a separate blast and let people know about it. So we really appreciate their help in that. Vincent is here representing them tonight. There's a new task force I want to tell you about in the Southern New England UCC conference, which I'm told sounds like SNOOK, which I never knew. I've been saying SNEUCC, which doesn't really roll off the tongue. Snook is actually kind of cool. So we have a new task force, as yet unnamed. We've only been around for about a month, and we've had 3 meetings. Sam is a member of that task force. He's been awesome and super helpful. And we have several other members here of that task force. And the point of the task force is to just see what it is we can do to demonstrate solidarity with the people of Palestine and to help, lead toward a just peace, and really to help for them to be seen. Father Bashar is going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. One of the things he's going to talk about is come and see. Come and see. He's going to say it a few times, I think. Come and see. And it's an open invitation to come to Taybeh and to see and to witness. And without having borne witness myself in person, I tried to go twice. My wife shut the project down semi-permanently after the last attempt, and we'll revisit that if I'm very good sometime in the future. But we hope that we can have a delegation in October or November, and we'd like to invite, people to ask about it. There's a sign-up list out there if you'd like to learn more about the task force. But one of our pastors who's on the team has been, over the last 20 years, about 13, 14 times. He's how I met Father Bashar. They're very good friends. And he'll be leading the delegation. So we have folks who know the lay of the land, know what they're doing, and folks who are local who know what they're doing. So please join us and come back and bear witness. It's very little about Father Bashar, and I'll just let him talk, and then you'll be able to ask questions, and you can fire any question you like. A while back I saw an author of a book I read that I appreciated, and somebody was asking them how they find hope in difficult times like this, when it seems like we're not making much headway, we're not finding much hope. And they said they don't really ask God for hope anymore. They don't worry about hope anymore. They ask God for courage to do the next right thing, because they get hope from seeing other people act courageously. And Father Bashar gives me hope. And he actually gives me a little hope that some of the anger and bile that I've got welled up, that I can overcome that. Because when you meet him, with what daily life is like, the way he's able to compose himself and just be present is astonishing to me. So I hope to learn how he's done that. So many have acted with courage, and in the end, I'll be asking you to act with courage in some small way. So with that, I'll introduce you to my friend, Abuna Bashar Wadley.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so glad that I'm here. It's a big honor for myself to be here and to share my experience, my history, my stories with you all, with you and with your family, with people who are hearing us or are listening on the live streaming. I came from a city where everything is begun. No? And just I want to start with the letter of Galatians, chapter 4, verses 4, that but when the set time had fully come, God sent his son, born of a woman, born under the law. Where he was born? Bethlehem. Where he was breached? Bethlehem. Jerusalem, Nazareth, in whole historical Palestine. Where he died and resurrection is in Jerusalem. From where the Christianity starts, from Jerusalem after the Pentecost. So good evening, everyone, from the city of resurrection, Jerusalem. It's not so far from Taybeh. Just 15 kilometers or 20 kilometers between Taybeh and Jerusalem. I greet you with the greeting of Christ, the risen Christ, from the empty tomb of Jerusalem. So I want to say one word in Arabic, salam, that means peace. Peace, this is the same word that Jesus used with his disciple after the resurrection. Salam be with you. That means the Spirit or the Holy Spirit or the peace be with you all. The salam, it's upon ourselves. It's upon you and upon your cities and your families. Salam from the land where everything is begun. Greetings from the land that seek peace, and until now there is no peace. Salam from the land from which comes the gospel preached to the whole world. Salam from Jerusalem, the city of God and the city of resurrection and a new life. Salam from the parish of Taybeh, where Jesus visited. If we open St. John Gospel, chapter 11, verses 54, Jesus left Jerusalem after the resurrection of Lazarus and came to nearby of the desert called Ephraim, and he stayed there with his disciples a few days before his death and the resurrection. I'm Father Bashar Fawadli. I'm Palestinian, Christian. I'm Catholic priest at the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem. I was born in the year of the first Intifada. You know what's the meaning of Intifada? The revolution, the resistance of the Palestinians against the occupation. In the year of the first Intifada, 1987. I entered to the seminary, and in the year of the second Intifada, the year of 2000. I was ordained a priest in Ramallah, where my family live, in 2014, when the Israeli occupation and soldiers attacked the city in that night. So I come from where everything is very complicated and where everything, and there is many problems over there. Problems that I mean there is no rights. No right to move. No right to live. No right to learn. No right to play. No right to travel. So I'm parish priest over there. I'm parish priest with no rights that we can live within. But also, as court said, with hope. The hope of the empty tomb. Meanwhile, settlers' attacks continue. Unfortunately, in our area, in east of Jerusalem and Ramallah, where there is 14 villages, we are the only village 100% Christians, and we are the last village Christians in West Bank and Jerusalem and Gaza. So the settlers continue the attacks where the village of Taybeh is located. 4 militaries have been killed so far due to the settlers' attacks, including the burning of houses and cars in the area of Kafur Malik. It's a nearby of the Taybeh, and it's not so far, just 10 minutes from Taybeh to Kafur Malik. They attack the houses. They're burning the houses. They're burning the cars in the entrance of Taybeh. Also, they're burning the houses in the area of Taybeh. Through you, we request the intervention of the international community and ask you to pressure the governments to arrest these settlers, and we can have peace. And I ask you to pray and pray and pray and pray for justice. It's more important than a peace. Justice is more important than a peace, because peace is the fruit of the justice. If we have justice, so we have already peace. Among all of these problems and this very complicated situation, we still have hope, and the hope of the resurrection and the empty tomb. Adding all the rejoice, we still also happy. Happy because we are Palestinian, because we live in the land where Jesus was live. We are glad for the joy, for behold of Palestinians, that we are Palestinians and we are in the land where Jesus. We rejoice because of joy is stronger than the sorrow. We rejoice because life stronger than death. We rejoice because the greatest happiness lies in giving, not in receiving. We rejoice because we live in the homeland of Jesus, our Palestine and our country. We rejoice because we walk in the same footsteps of Jesus. We rejoice because we are Palestinians Christians who carry the cross from the beginning, 2,000 years ago until now, but preach the resurrection and the new life. And we rejoice as we await the long-awaited, the third day from 1948, the year of the catastrophe, until now, more than 75 years, we just await the third day. In Taybeh, we are composed by 3 churches: the Orthodox Church, the Roman Catholic Church, whose I'm the parish priest, and the Milkite Church. We are all the population, 1,245 persons. Unfortunately, in these days and after 7 of October until now, a lot of people left Taybeh. They immigrated to your country here. More than 10 families, that's bleeding. That's 10% of the population of Taybeh. That means we are decreasing of the numbers of Christianity. We are not talking about minority or numbers, but we are talking about the presence. We still need to be present in our land, in the land of Jesus. In the parish, just I want to mention something with you, some points or 5 or 6 points. In the parish who started in Taybeh in 1860, so this year it's 165 years. And we have in Taybeh, in the parish, school. So near the parish, near the church, we have school for 400 students. The majority of them, 70% Muslims. But we have very good relations and communications with them. We are all friends. We are all brothers and sisters. And we share with them the daily life. We can have very good communication. And we visited them also. And we have exchange visits. In the school also, we have very good creating of the jobs, opportunity for the jobs, job creation for the people, because after 7 of October, a lot of people lost their works. So that's why we have very good opportunity to create jobs for them. And also in the parish, we have, under the umbrella of Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem, the elderly home. We have more than 25 persons who located and stayed and accommodates in the elderly home. And we have more than 20 employees who work in the elderly home. Also, we have Nabd al-Haya online radio station. Nabd al-Haya, that means the pulse of life. Just we took this meaning from St. John Gospel, chapter 10, verses 10. I came to give you life and abundant life. So we are the pulse of life. We have to be the pulse of life, and we'll continue to be the pulse of life forever. And we have also Academy for Music for the kids, for the children. We can, in all of these circumstances, we can put hope. And this music of Academy of Music, it can put hope for the people, because we need to growing with the talent of the people. And we can also talking about the talents, and the talents is the hope of our life also, because we can preaching and we can talking from the talents about Jesus. And we have traditional Dabki troupe, so we can also have very traditional Palestinians dancing, so folklore. So this is very important for us to put also happiness and joy in the heart and deep in heart, on the bottom heart of our students, our children. And also we have Academy for Football, Children Without Borders. We are a branch of this very big organization in Italy, and we have more than 26 persons who is inside this or participating or participants of this academy. Also, we have annual summer camps. We just all preparing ourselves. On 7th of July, we started together as Orthodox, Roman Catholic, Newman Church, have these summer camps. More than 133 students who will participate in the summer camps for all the city of Taybeh. So we are together. With the diversity, we have unity. Unity, we are celebrating together the Christmas in the Roman Catholic calendar, and we're celebrating Easter in the Orthodox calendar. So, and we have these initiative that we are working together. We're preparing something together. This is something also puts hope in our life, in our communities. And the Latin Patriarchates also we have in Taybeh 2 guest houses. So you're most welcome when you are coming. So that's why Reverend Courts talked about come and see. Come and see. This is the same version that Jesus talked with the 2 disciples of John the Baptism. They came to him and asked Jesus, Lord, where you live? And Jesus responded them, come and see. And in that night, they stayed and accommodated with him in the same place that where he lived. And also we have a very important and ancient house, more than 350 years, talking about the Palestinian lifestyle in that time until now, and also talking about 38 parables that Jesus preaching in the Gospels. And we have a home for the saint who was in Taybeh 3 times, Saint Charles de Foucauld. Charles de Foucauld, he's originally from France. He stayed and visited Taybeh 3 times in 1898, in 1899, and in 1900. He was there and he wrote a meditation and about Lent. And he was with the people of Taybeh, encouraged them. He was with them, and he was as a spiritual guide for them in that time. And also we have a lot of things that we can do it. I will not forget the patron of the city of Taybeh, St. George. We call it in Arabic Al-Khadr. Al-Khadr, that means green. So we have church and archaeological site called Al-Khadr from 4th century and from 9th century. Destroyed in 4th century and rebuilt in 9th century and destroyed another time in 9th century. And now we have, we end the procession of Palm Sunday all together, the churches of Taybeh in the site of St. George Al-Khadr in the place. All of that, we have hope. We are Palestinians. Will never fails because we are Christians. And if we are good believers, we'll be a good citizenship. We'll be good citizens in our land. We'll be good witnesses of our Lord Jesus Christ, witnesses about the resurrection, witnesses about the Bible, about the Word of God, witnesses to be also more encouragement. I have 3 words that I want to share it with you also. Be courage, be generosity, and be patient. If you are generous, you can do everything, and you can welcome all the people. And be courage. When you are courage and don't afraid, brave, you don't afraid from anyone, because God with us, who is against us? No? If God with us, who's against us? And the 3rd thing, be patient. Everything will arrive once. So in near future or in long future, no problem. Everything will arrive, we'll do it. We can do it with a patient. So this is the point that I would to share it with you. And I would also to re-invite you that come and see. Come and see, because Taybeh is very glad to welcome you. Very glad also and honored to welcome you in the streets of Taybeh, in the churches of Taybeh, in everywhere in Taybeh, and would to share with you, spend a very good time with you in Taybeh, and to be with us like the two disciples of John the Baptism. They stayed and they rest with Jesus Christ in that time. So you are most welcome to be with us. Come and see and announce the reality and the truth, because Jesus is the truth, the life, and the way. And there is a truth of the Palestinian people who's under the suffer, who's suffering from everything, from the checkpoints, military checkpoints, from the iron gates that closes in all the villages and cities of West Bank and West Bank, and from the attacks of the settlers. So we are here now that just to announce the truth, our facts, our problems that we are facing, to share with you, because we need your prayers and also we need your support, as a physical support, as a spiritual support, as a voice of support to announce the truth for the Palestinian people. Thank you. If there is any question or any objection or anything adding, I'm ready to hear.
I can come around with a mic. But I have one question for you to clarify. So when you say no right to move,
Yeah.
give me an example of that.
For example, just I want to share with something with the Victor. Victor, he's originally from Taybeh. He lives in Boston, but also he lives in Taybeh, between Boston and Taybeh. And his son and daughters go and come back every day from Taybeh to Ramallah to go to the school. So maybe Victor can share something with us today. No, Victor? Yeah.
Hello. As Father Bashar said, I was born in Taybeh, and then I moved with my family to the U.S. in the 90s, 1992, and I grew up here, went to school, went to college, lived here. And a few years ago, I decided to move to Palestine and to set up a distillery. I make whiskey, vodka, gin. That's what I did here in the U.S. And I wanted to do it over there because I liked that place. Every time I visited, I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people, many people go and they really like it. And there's something in it that kind of pulls you back, draws you back to go to it. And my wife, who's from here, and my kids visited many times and wanted to go live there. So that was an experience. We figured we'll do it for a few years while the kids are younger. And, you know, when they grow up, it's harder to decide for them. They decide for themselves. But we don't regret it. We went during the pandemic, the end of the pandemic. Actually was tough because the kids were so bored over here. You know, they were stuck at home, and with all the online schooling and everything, if I told them, let's move to Somalia, they probably would have agreed. So we did it, and we enjoyed it to the extent of, you know, we probably can't go out at night at 9, 10 p.m. Or 8, 9 p.m. to Ramallah or to surrounding cities, just because of some of the issues and some of the closures and the military flying checkpoints at the time. Israeli military flying checkpoints. But we enjoyed it. Kids started learning the language. Obviously, we went back and forth many times up until October 7th. When the fighting started on October 7th, life changed. It's almost impossible to get to Ramallah which is the main city, next to my town, which is Taybeh. And it's a 15-minute drive normally. It would take us about an hour and 15 minutes now, because we have to take different roads, because the main roads are blocked by either they're blocked by the Israeli military or the sudden attacks of the Israeli settlers. So we have to choose different ways to avoid these possible encounters. My kids and I drop them off in the morning. We leave the house at 6:40 to get to school at 8. That's every morning. And that's just after October 7th, so the last 2 school years. And my wife goes to pick them up. She leaves like an hour and a half before, and then she brings them back. They get home around 4:30, tired. They can't do the activities they used to do. My son used to love going to karate and taekwondo and all those after-school activities. They can't do it anymore, just because we don't want to come home when it's late at night. Probably in the past 2 years, we haven't gone out past 4 p.m. to main cities, because we don't want to encounter anything on the way back. And recently, in the past month or two, maybe a couple of months, a new style of surprise we got, which was the road, the steel gates that Father Bashar was talking about, the iron gates. Overnight, we see them installing gates at the entrance of every town, at the exit of every town, side roads. So it might be 1 or 2 or 3 around every village or town. And, we figured, they're probably going to lock them up sometime. And this happened during this Iran-Israel war. One day, they shut all the gates. So in 5 minutes, they were able to completely separate every village and town in the West Bank from each other. And these are some of the very few challenges we deal with living there. I don't know how much we can handle it. I love that place. I can handle it. I don't know how long my kids can handle it. I can't pressure them too much. But I hope they can do it. They like it over there. They'd love to finish their school years there, come over here back home for Christmas and for summer vacation and do the school year over there. But we'll see what happens. Things are getting very tough. And the Israeli settlers, it's a new thing. It's like, they're all covered up, their faces are covered up, and they just attack and they burn houses and throw rocks at cars, and they're protected by the Israeli army. And that's the sad part. So people can't defend themselves. And this is just a little bit about my experience of living there for the past 4 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question?
Thank you. I've been working on this issue in the United Methodist Church for 20 years, starting in 2005, for those who can't do math. And I struggle to make sure I'm getting good information, so I'm always careful about my sources. I've used Defense for Children International as one of my sources, and I, in my own mind, have been thinking that in the West Bank, that for at least 20 years, 25 years, there has been a killing in cold blood of a Palestinian by a settler or by a member of the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, every 2 weeks. That's just my subjective thought. I have never voiced that in a public setting or whatnot. But I just wondered, I'd like to hear your comment on that as to where you think it lies. I know of no instance where a settler or a member of the IDF has been brought to justice for killing a Palestinian in cold blood. And if you know of one, I would like to hear it, but I don't know myself of one.
You don't know what?
Says he's
Somebody
never
killed?
heard of an IOF member actually being prosecuted for killing a Palestinian.
For sure, I don't know exactly. And يعني, me too. I don't know exactly who's went to the courts in Israel or anywhere else, because we are under the occupation, military occupation. So we are. If you are under the military occupation, there is something is very strange that there is nothing for yourself. There is a policies on you, but there is something from your side to do it against the occupation. If you are doing something against the occupation, you will be killed or you'll be in the prison. You will be something arrested. So this is the life that we are living in. With this life that we are under, this life we are living under the occupation. So that the important thing that you are talking about, there is something happen in the West Bank. Now it's more double or triple. That there is a lot of attacks of the settlers in all the way. You know why? Because we have a very fanatic ministries in Israel, Ben Gvir, Smotrich, and so on. All of these ministries. They give and distributed weapons for the settlers to kill the Palestinian, to kill the people. Why? Because they occupied our land without anything. I have certificate for my land, my grandfather land, certificate from Empire of Uthmani. So there is no allow. They don't allow me to go the land. Even I have this certificate of the land property. So, where's the right? I don't know exactly where's the right. I'm Palestinian. I live in Palestine. My roots from Palestine. I'm not Muslims who converted to be Christian. I'm a Christian from the beginning. So this is very important. There is a lot of kill and death. There is a lot of attacks from the settlers. Now it's more and more and more and more. More than the year of 2000, more than the year of 2005, more than before the 7th of October. Now it's more because of the fanatic ministries in the Israeli government. Our problem with the occupation. Our problem with the people who occupied our land. Why you occupy our land? This is the problem. For example, in the season of harvesting of the olive trees in Taybeh, we have more than 15,000 hectares of the olive trees in Taybeh. So a lot of people forbidden to go to the land. If they go, they will attack them. 5 persons from our people in Taybeh just attacked by the settlers 1 year ago. In the season of harvestings. So this is the point that we are talking about. I don't know exactly who will go to the court, if there is court, if there is something to judge, don't know. But I know that I have to stay and I will to continue my life in Palestine.
Yeah, there's a wonderful Christian village as well, Al Makur. And I don't know if you know, Alice Casilla is a wonderful, courageous woman who's been fighting in the courts for decades and continues to win and still not be on her land.
Yeah.
She keeps winning and they just don't leave. And they just cut more olive trees down, burn something down, and she wins again. I don't know how she keeps winning these cases. That in itself is a miracle. And she just won again last week, but she's constantly, they've been bankrupted through all these, sort of lawfare and it just never ending. And it's hard to wrap your head around being from such a different culture. I'm trying to imagine what I would do. I was waiting for Father Bashar yesterday outside St. Patrick, and as I'm waiting, my Instagram pops up, and it's Taybeh on fire as he's on the way to the church to talk about Taybeh. It's homes on fire. Somebody whipped a thing in a car, and that's on fire. And these guys running around with bats and masks, and they take off. And I'm like, what would I do? Well, the day before, in Kafir Malik, you mentioned, they set some homes on fire, and the kids ran out of the home, and the IDF shot those kids. So it's it's hard to wrap your head around, not just that there's injustice, but that it's so ingrained and normalized, and now it's on steroids because of how really, frankly, the United States has facilitated just a complete lack of accountability and impunity, which has now spread to the West Bank. And we don't want to see the West Bank become Gaza. Oh, we have a question.
Questions?
Okay. Is Israel an apartheid state?
Yes or no? What I can do? As the occupation of the Israelis in our land, in the land in 67, the line of 67, the East Jerusalem until West Bank, and the east of Jerusalem and Gaza, they are apartheid, yeah. As occupation, yeah.
And there are different rights for people of different ethnicities. So.
Yeah.
I promise I won't raise my hand again. I have the map cards here that show loss of land since 1946. It was originally put out by the Quakers, and now other groups are doing it. I've often said you can't understand the situation if you don't understand what's on this postcard. As far as Israel being an apartheid state, I never used that term until I researched it in 2022. I think the point I like to make about that is the UCC Church has the national UCC Church, it's a United States church, has declared Israel as an apartheid state prior to when the New England Conference did with a resolution that I had introduced. But I think the key thing of that is I'm not a lawyer, so I never use that term. But then B'Tselem, an Israeli Jewish human rights organization, said it's an apartheid state from the river to the sea. In other words, throughout, not just 48 Israel, but the occupied territories. Amnesty International came out with that also. I've forgotten the years, but this is all within the last 4 years, and said it's an apartheid state throughout. Human Rights Watch said it's an apartheid state in the occupied territories. And I asked a person one time, why didn't they say throughout? And they said, well, the data that we had didn't show that. I've forgotten one of the 3 points of being an apartheid state. They didn't meet that third point, which I think was ruthless suppression. Yeah. And there's the United Nations entity I have a pamphlet with me that was done by done by South Africa, commissioned by South Africa in 2009, and it's all about the thing of how it's an apartheid state and so forth. So I like to say who has said it is an apartheid state, just to give perspective on the thing. Jack Reed, a senator, said, no, it's not an apartheid state, but he's a political animal, so forth. The United States is, poo-poos that notion, but I think it's key that organizations that are concerned about human rights, I mean, this is legal terms, so forth. They say that it is. I promise I'll shut up from here on.
Oh, thanks so much. A lot of people probably don't know this, and I'll tell you, I didn't know until last year, and I stumbled on it, but the UCC is an apartheid-free denomination. They voted this through, what was it, 21? Am I wrong about that? Might have been before that. We only have about 5 or 6 congregations that have signed on to that, but as a denomination, we signed on to the Quakers, the AFSC, as an apartheid-free denomination, and that refers to Israel specifically. That's the point of that resolution. Anybody else?
Yes. 2 or 3 questions.
Yeah, I'm a Quaker, and I'm a lawyer, and I'm really not too concerned about whether it's an apartheid state by language or not. I take the reverends come and visit to heart. About a year ago, I said to our Quaker meeting that what you need is Quaker boots on the ground, ongoing, in the West Bank. And that means 24/7. And you may have to recruit enough people to do 3-month tours in each village. I have Palestinian clients going back to the late 70s from Atara. You know Atara very well.
Atara, yeah.
Yeah, Atara, right? And they've told me the stories about the loss of the olive trees.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about this anymore.
Yeah.
Gaza is the blueprint for the West Bank. And those 25,000 AK-47s that the Senate allowed to go over there to the West Bank, they ended right up in the settlers' hands, right?
Yeah.
So how do you act to dissuade attacks by settlers and their teenage boys pumped up on testosterone and adrenaline from attacking innocent people? How do you do it? You need American bodies to accompany each village and ask for that gate to be opened and be there and be able to be witnesses to the world what your military occupation can't stop. So I think the real key here is how do we form the groups, number one, and then how do we get in there, number two. Do you have any thoughts on that?
First of all, I want to thank you, and we are also all we have good friends in the Quakers because school friends in Ramallah, where's the daughters and son of Victor going, and where's my nephews also going to the school of Quakers and friends in Ramallah. So we are so glad because we have this school since years, okay, so 100 years. Secondly, that I want to share with you something. It's very important. When Jesus was in the Sanhedrin, the council for the Jews, before his death and resurrection, and after the Gethsemane garden, he went with the soldiers of the Jews to the leader of the Jews in the chef, yeah. And one of the questions for the Jesus was, "Are you Christ? Are you really Christ?" And he said, "Yes, I'm Christ. Why you are asking me? Ask all the people who listen to me in my days, in my daily life." And one of the soldiers hit Jesus with the 5 in his face, and Jesus didn't put the other face. No, he said, "If I said something wrong, tell me. If I don't said something wrong, why you hit me?" So this is the point that I want to share with you, that we have to raise our voice in all the countries. That's why I'm here. We have to raise our voice in front of the governments. Americans, Europeans, Africans, Asians, South of America, everywhere. We have to raise our voice. And once our voice will arrive to everybody to change the reality. But unfortunately, in the case of the Israeli occupation, it's abnormal, extraordinary. They didn't listen to anyone in all around the world. They want to change the reality of Palestine, the history of Palestine, the geography of our land. They are changing a lot. So this is the point, that how we can defend ourselves and define the defense of ourselves. We can with you, with your support, with your presence, with you when you pressure on your governments to change the reality. So now we have to do something like that. I think this is the first time of the history of America that we heard something about the revolution of the youth, of the young people in the universities, no? Because of the Palestinians. They would to change the reality of Palestinians, but unfortunately, there is manifestation, something against, there is a lot of manifestations, huge processions in all the roads, in all the ways, in America, in Britain, and everywhere. But in the reality, on the land, something worse now. That's why there is iron gates, military iron gates. There is a lot of fly checkpoints, a lot of attacks. So all of that after 7th of October. All of that after the procession. We have to stop the procession, the manifestation against the genocide that we have, the apartheid of occupation. No, we have to continue because we have to do something because we are human being and we would to be in peace and justice. So this is the point that we are talking about, to raise our voice in front all our governments and our senators and our parliaments. So we have to raise up our voice. Always. Even there is no results. We have to raise our voice. To be like Jesus. If there is wrong, tell me where's the wrong. If there is no wrong, why you hit me?
Someone in the back had a question. Just flying checkpoint. I was like, what is a flying checkpoint?
Flying checkpoint.
No, well, so he told me, like, I live over the bridge in Seekonk, and all of a sudden they decide to throw a checkpoint up there at 4 o'clock. So I go home, and I can't go that way. So I have to go down, and then I have to go up there, and I come down Arcade. But there's a flying checkpoint on Arcade. So I have to go back down Arcade, and I have to go through Rehoboth, and I come down 118, but there's a flying checkpoint on 118. Yeah. So 6 hours later, I'm 3 miles from my house, and I can't get there. And that's an ongoing reality of these checkpoints. Did somebody back here have a question? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, God bless you. There's a lot of talk in the Christian community. For me, I think it's like a justification. People justify the genocide and say that Israel is God's people, they're God's chosen people. How, as believers who believe in Jesus and who know that Jesus would not stand for what's happening in Palestine, how can we talk to people about that? How do we combat that school of thought?
We can talk with the people from the Bible itself. If we open St. Matthew Gospel, chapter 5, you can see the Beatitudes, no? You can see all the 8 Beatitudes. So something is very important for us to preach, to know, and to meditate in it. To talking about the like Bible, what talking about the Bible, to be peaceful with the people, to search about the reality, about the truth, because the truth is one, not coloring in the truth. There is one truth, and you have to come and see. It's very important for us to come and see, not to see just the holy sites and to visit it and to pray in it or at it, but to be with the living stones. And we are the living stones there. We are the saviors or the save of the living the Christianity in the Holy Land. So you have to save us also, to be with us, to come and see, to see the reality, and to go. To have pictures and photos, not just on Instagram, but on your phone, and to see to show it for the people what happened in Palestine. So you have to be more also smart, and to talk with the others with being peaceful, not to be aggressive with the others. Even you are standing with the Palestinians, or even you are against Israelis or against the occupation. I mean, okay. So you have to be in peaceful talking, and to be smart and suggest. Another question there.
Thank you. So I had the great privilege of being in the Holy Land for 14 weeks in 2019. And at the time, Trump was also president. And I was always nervous when I was in East Jerusalem or in Palestinian areas when people asked me, where are you from? And I was always greeted with great hospitality, and you know, I didn't feel shamed, you know. But you know, the embassy, the U.S. embassy, has been moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. U.S. aid has been dismantled. So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about your experience of the people that you know. How do they feel about the United States these days?
I can share my opinion with you, no? I'm so glad that I'm here in the U.S., no? because the people of God, the people of Christianity, the people of church and all different churches in the U.S., we are honored because we are brothers and sisters, no? We are brothers and sisters as a human being. And we are brothers and sisters in the baptism, in the church. So that's glad for us. So for this first point. Second point, I'm so honored that I'm just spent days in the U.S. to have some vacation. It's not vacation, but to have something and to visit the people in diaspora, and I would to thank also that the people who received and welcomed our people from centuries, that they came here and to be with from hundreds of years, 500 years and 200 years, to who left our Palestine, our region, and came to US. So thank you very much for your hospitality in your country. Even that the Palestinians left Palestine because of all these circumstances and this war and this catastrophe, and the war of '67, and the war of First Intifada, Second Intifada, the war in Gaza, the genocide everywhere. So we would to thank you. Third, we are thinking not so good about not the Americans, not the people of America. We are not very good thinking about the governments that's standing with one part against the other part. So if you are in justice, and if you are a judge, you have to judge equally between Israel and Palestine to be more comfortable between the two parties. Okay? This is the point that I want to share with you, that to be also a state of America, the United States of America, to be standing with the people who's thirsty, the people who's under the genocide, who's under the weapons, who's under and surrounded by the checkpoints, to be with the people and to standing with the people whose sufferings from everything. There is no rights. I don't have any airport to go through by because I'm Palestinian. I don't have any permission to go to the holy sites in Jerusalem or in Nazareth or in Galilee to visit it because I'm Palestinian. So I need the permission from the Israelis to go, even that I'm Christian. So just I want to mention and to ask you that why we live this situation. Because we all afraid from the Jews, or from the occupation, and from the Israelis. So we all afraid to do something. This is the reality that I want to share with you. So we have to be also more peaceful. Just I want to repeat it. More peaceful, more smart to be in the land. And we love everybody. We don't hate anyone because we are Palestinian and Christians. But if you love everyone, you have to say the truth. The truth, America is not standing with us as a government. The people of America, like you, they're standing with us. Okay? And that what we need now, we need the justice and peace for our land, for our people, and especially for Gaza. Especially for the people of Gaza. The Christians was in Gaza before the war, 1,200 people. Now, 530 people who stayed after the killed and after the migration. So what we are waiting for? Waiting for what? To finish the Christianity in Gaza, where everything also began as a contemplative life there, with the monks, with everyone, Saint Porphyrius, and so on. This is the point that I want to share it. We love America, we love you, and we need to be with you always. We thank you about everything that you are doing for the Palestinians and receiving the Palestinians here, and even the Arabs. And we have to be more direct point, straight to the point, that America, the government of America doesn't standing with us. So this is the point, the reality, to be more careful. Another question? Here, there's questions. Kurt. Yeah.
I just wondered if, because so much of the discussion here in the mainstream media or understanding it sees these conflicts as one between religious groups and that sort of thing. And I was just wondering if there's anything from the areas that you're from going back before 1948, how people of different faiths lived together before the State of Israel was created.
The life was under the British mandate. And the life was under occupation also. The British mandate, this is mandate, but also this is occupation. And before the British mandate, there was the Ottoman Empire. So all the time, 500 years until now, we are under occupation. So that's enough for ourselves. But we live faith. We live in faith. We live in hope. We still have hope, and we still love the others and the enemies even. This is the catechism of Jesus, the preaching of Jesus in the gospel. We have to love the enemies. We know very good what's that mean because we are Palestinians and we have to love the enemies.
I admire your being able to hold love so strongly.
Thank you.
I mean, this whole thing, I've been sitting here thinking of, I used to be a folk singer, and an open mic that happened in the 70s, and it was a time when Israel's Supreme Court was saying what happened in one village in particular named Baram was totally unfair, that Israelis took over a Palestinian village. And so anyway, that was part of a folk song that I sang in which I compared both the Palestinian community and the Israeli community as fingers on one hand. Well, I would, never have expected what happened. It was almost like being tarred and feathered, and you don't understand. We're so persecuted. Look what happened to us, And I thought to myself, when is this going to heal? When can people go beyond, like somehow they are hurting so badly, so they are owed some special thing more than every other race or nationality or anything. When is that going to heal? How is it going to heal? I mean, I think it's going to take God to heal that. I just don't understand the level of hatred that I witnessed as what, a 28-year-old or 32-year-old? I just could not believe it, But then, of course, I'm naive. I grew up in America. I didn't realize what I was saying, what I was singing. But it was a strange experience, let me tell you. I've never faced such hatred in my life.
Yeah, sure. This is not expected life also in Palestine. Because when we were in the first Intifada, maybe I was very young, and maybe I was baby. It's very strange to see where we are now, because it's not expected, because in the first Intifada our voice and the cause of Palestine in the entire world, because of the rock, because of the stones, because they told us that you are the boys of the stones, no? أطفال الحجارة, we say it in Arabic. So because that we raise our voice in all around the world, in whole world. After the first Intifada, there is a new agreement that called the peace agreement, Oslo agreement. We are not expected that after Oslo agreement there is another Intifada. There is another Intifada. There were another Intifada, and the minister of Sharon entered to the Aqsa, and there is another Intifada, the second Intifada, and make a lot of problems. under occupation, a lot of arrest of the people, burying and doing a lot of things against the Palestinians. They attacked the most very holy place in Palestine, Bethlehem, the Nativity Church. You remember in 2002, I was in the seminary. I remember this date. I remember that time. 40 days of occupation just in front of the Nativity Church. So this is unexpected life in Palestine. So in daily life, in every day, in every single day, in every new day, we have another problems. We have new problems. We have new challenges. We have something new, but it's not good news, but in bad news.
So we're going to start to wrap up, and I'm trying to think, can I say this in less than 30 seconds? A couple of thoughts people had. So theology is not a history of a study of God. It's a history of man's thoughts about God. In the last century, it has really changed of how Christians view what the Holy Land of Israel means. Like, they weren't teaching what you're talking about 100 years ago. That's a new teaching, and we're not going to go into why that is. We can, but we can't, right? And my friend over here mentioned the mindset of Israeli society. There are great books about that written by Jewish scholars and genocide scholars. My new friend Omer Bartov, a professor at Brown University, wrote about 25 books about the Nazis, the Holocaust, genocide in general, Israeli society. Peter Beinart just wrote a book that's a bestseller about this. So to be armed with those facts when you talk to people helps, but we could talk more about that. But I just want to thank the church again, and especially just the community, the committee that allowed us to do this. And Sam's just been awesome. And I don't want to embarrass him, but I got to tell you, I feel like I was kind of flying out there a little too much alone for a long time. And to meet somebody like Sam has been really nourishing for my soul. So he's just a wonderful new friend. So thank you so much. And thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and Brother Bashar.
I'm here. I'm still here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I know I was leaving somebody out.
Thank you very much. I was so happy to be here. So be strong, be patient, be brave, and be generosity. So thank you, and you're most welcome. We'll see you in Taybeh. Come and see.
Thank you all for coming, and you're invited to exit through the doors, and we can gather, take a pastry from our friends, the friendly baker, nerdy baker across the street. So peace to all. Good night.